Hello and welcome to Anime Pathfinder. This is an anime adaptation of the tabletop RPG Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Um, there will be plenty of homebrew ruling, items, and abilities. My goal is to give off a proper shonen vibe using the Pathfinder 2E mechanics. My name is Jophresh, and we will now begin the 6th episode of Anime Pathfinder Stop and Shop. We are joined today by Sullivan, the fighter.
Hello.
We got Reef, the Azarkeri kineticist.
Hello.
We got Red, the Kitsune Magus.
Hi.
And we got Kira, the human monk.
Hello, hello.
And we got Cal, the catfolk champion.
Howdy.
Alright. Previously on okay, there's something wrong with my layout. Let me fix this real quick. Always a problem somewhere. Always. Alright. Let's do that real quick. Alright. So previously, you all arrived at Cuddle. You successfully hauled in a massive loot from your kills. And you have spoken to Elara, the dock master, and she led you guys to another merchant. I believe it was Phelan, that specializes on exotic artifacts. And she went off with you guys, and she closed shop so that she could see your what you have to offer. And I think that's pretty much what happened last time. So you are now walking throughout the docks, and Phelan, she just is with you and asking, so where are the items that you are planning to sell?
On the boat?
The ship.
Yeah, so she's walking. You guys are at the docks now, and she asks you where where are the items that you want to sell, because you have mentioned that you have a big ton of meat on
Right.
dock on the ship, and also you have a massive shell from a giant snapping turtle, and she followed you to your ship.
Yeah, so we show
So-
her. Reef proudly gestures at the big hunking pile of meat on the deck.
It's like, oh my,
There it is.
It's like, oh my, that is
Well-
a lot.
In all its splendor.
So
It's in two different storage areas. There's fresh that we haven't started the process of drying out yet because it was a fresh kill right before we arrived,
mhm.
and that is of the giant turtle. The shell you can see it's being supported by two boats adjacent to our boat, but then we also have dried Allosaurus water dinosaur that we've already done the drying process, so it's ready to sell and eat.
As
You know,
you're
there won't need to be a
explaining this to her, you also see other curious merchants, fishermen, and other citizens of Cuddle just going around, like forming a semicircle around your ship, as they've never seen such a hole before. It's quite a lot. So she says, "Well, I can't say much for the meats. However, I would like a chance to see the massive turtle shell once it's all cleared out with meat, and until then I can't really say how much I could sell it for. That how much you could sell it for, but if you like, when you are finished perhaps distributing the meat that you want to sell to the other merchants, you you could come back to my shop, and I will gladly come follow you again and give you a quote on how much your massive shell would cost."
That sounds wonderful.
And so, how would you like to do this? Do you guys want to just open kind of like a shop by your ship so everyone could just purchase the meat from there, or do you guys want to use something, for the time being, to kind of like set up shop in Cuddle so that you guys could sell your items?
Two
Well, why don't,
questions.
I was
why
Do
don't
we
thinking
we?
need a
of selling it.
license? And do we need a permit?
Yeah, like I was thinking of more selling it to someone, finding someone who would buy it and
Mhm.
do all of that for us, because we ain't got time for that. We're too
Yeah.
important.
How
It's
about
true.
we spend 30 minutes working the crowd, and we maybe roll our society checks to
Yeah.
see if we can locate someone who will then do all the merchanting stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. So,
And
just to answer Kira's question, you are allowed to sell your items because Hao is also a member of the Merchants Guild, and
Right.
from there, he basically vouched that their products are not stolen, smuggled, or any source of foul play. So, so he already vouched for that. So you guys are able to sell your items. So in terms of like the meats, you guys could definitely just go door to door, or perhaps merchant to merchant who would like to buy your meat. And then at the same time, for the magical items that you not magical items, but the two would you say fertilized? Because they're still alive, like massive giant turtle eggs. So I'm not sure what the term is. So you have those as well, and the skeleton. As as Phelan walks around like your ship, as you kind of show her around, she did notice the skeleton, and she is very intrigued by it, and she asks, "Captain, how much would you sell this for?"
Now, and having no idea what to sell such a rare beauty for, I just like use a lot of very positive adjective in my description, but I start descripting like exactly how it is we captured it instead of answering the question.
That makes sense. You're fascinating her with a story of how it was acquired. As you're,
Performance.
Let me tell you the story
I was gonna
of
ask.
5 great adventurers.
I was just gonna ask if you could do either performance or you could do diplomacy, whichever's higher.
That's a good question. Oh, it's on my other screen. Why? Okay, whatever. Let's diplomacy is definitely higher. So let's try that. That would be a 30, sir.
Jesus Christ! Completely different from our old game, like completely different from our last session. So as she,
Oh no, we're in town now, and I'm telling stories.
Yeah.
This is my element.
This is your environment. This is all you, bud. So her eyes are gleaming with excitement. How you share your story, and you're like, as you kind of like do a swift like a hack just to kind of demonstrate how you guys performed to execute the kill. Like she gasped, and as you're telling the story, more and more people are kind of like overhearing as you kind of welcome the citizens to look around, see what they like in terms of meat and stuff like that.
Oh god, yeah, no, if you're gonna do it like that, maybe I should have rolled the performance then, because if Sully sees that he's gathering a crowd, like he's gonna probably prop up the barrel and really get going.
You could certainly give me a performance if you like. I'm okay with that.
That I'm not, but that's probably what he would do. My +4 is saying that this is an 11. I don't like it, but
your words and stories are fascinating, but as the crowd kind of gathers, you felt a little bit of pressure because now you're performing to everybody, not just trying to make a sales pitch to one person. And you do like you try to impress by trying to jump into a crate, but then somehow you kind of missed and you kind of like landed a little bit, but with your charm you kind of pass it off as a trip from the creature, and you just
yes, the
being
swimming
added more.
creature tripped.
Exactly. And everyone is still in your story because of your super high diplomacy, so that wasn't so bad. And now as you kind of like finish your story, the what's her name? I wrote it down. Phelan, she was like, "Wow, I that's an amazing encounter with such a creature. I probably would be dead if it was just if it's me or any regular sea folk here.
Oh, if it was any regular adventurer, probably yes. It was a harrowing experience, but you know, through the power of friendship and camaraderie, we pulled it through.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, Red's over just kind of munching on some fish like it's popcorn with a big smirk.
Reef leans in over to Red and says, "Funny how he left out how he got gobbled by the turtle."
Isn't it though?
The story that's completely skipped that part. And so she asked you, well, I don't even know how you would put a price on such an experience. Perhaps she kind of like looks into her ledger. She kind of like counts.
Just slowly, like just probably doesn't succeed, but just tries to keep an eye on the ledger, you know, just over her shoulder, and she turns around and
she kind of is like, well, I think I would very much like to purchase this. I think this will be a very fascinating display for my shop.
This is a
I would like
piece
to
of history.
and she's like, no, she agrees. And it's like, I do collect valuable skeletons for perhaps collectors that would stop by. But I never had such a complete set of bones and skeletons. Would 300 gold be enough?
Now, the problem I'm having as a player is Sully has no idea about the business of bones. So,
It's a yes.
300 sounds reasonable to
I would
me as a
imagine the
player.
average person wouldn't.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
the average person wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. But if you'd like to kind of like haggle, to make her increase the price, you could definitely give me a diplomacy again, or you could perhaps give me. I think a diplomacy would be the best one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna mention. 300 is a bit on the low side, I think. Is there any way you could, I'm going to be in town. I'm going to be telling this story to everyone. It's going to boost the. Basically, the argument I'm making here is exposure.
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah.
You're going to get so many followers.
You're that
not
guy.
the greatest argument, but
You could charge for ticket prices.
Oh boy.
The roles return.
We celebrated too early on that attempt. And as she kind of like explains, well, unfortunately, that would probably be my best offer at the moment. But if you ever change your mind, you are welcome.
Well, you know what? I like you a lot, and we don't really have time to do this. We are on a very important quest at the moment, so I'll take the 300. We'll call it a loss, and we'll move on from there.
Well, there's also the idea that we're not going to take a loss on that item, but we will take the offer on that. But you may be interested in some of the other things that we have.
It's like, well,
and if we make you spend too much on this item, you'd have to pass on some of our other things, like the eggs or the shell.
I am really interested in getting the shell. That's why as I work through my ledger, I was hoping I could have a bit of a budget for both. But as I said, I won't be able to discern it, like the price of the shell, if it's intact, how well it is, in comparison to your perfectly carved skeleton here. But she starts thinking, well, of course, if you'd like, we could even do a bit of an exchange if that would interest you. If gold won't suffice, perhaps if you look at my wares and then something you would be interested in, we could kind of barter it out together. What say you?
I think that's more than fair and very generous of you.
It's like, I'm glad. But if you, perhaps, and then she started thinking, well, as you mentioned that you are in a bit of a tight schedule. I do know most of the merchants here. Maybe I could perhaps help you market your items, especially your meat, your your dry dinosaur meats and your turtle meats as well. I could help you sell those, and perhaps that could help me acquire the shells and the skeleton.
So he's gonna look around at his crew because honestly, he was thinking about how to embellish his story over earlier and completely missed all the sputtering she was doing.
Yeah.
So he looks around to see like what everybody else's thinks, like the mental
Yeah.
mental discussion that's going usually on two completely different level for both people.
Mm-hmm.
He looks
Right.
at
So
looks at
the thing, Cal kind of pulls you aside and says,
Mm.
"Okay, so the best option is let's do that. Let's do a celebration in town so we can have use some of the meat, do a big old party, kind of like celebration, get
I
goodwill,
like where this is going.
and then work with her to just get 600 gold apiece, 600 gold for the ship, and then the assistance of selling everything that we can, and we'll still probably be able to keep a couple of months worth of fish and dried fish for ourselves, and then we can just do goodwill. We can probably use that 600 gold of we collect to then get the things that we may need. Like I am certain I need some scrolls. I want to do some boosts up on some of my equipment that'll help us all, and I'm pretty sure everyone else can use some stuff. So I think I need to get some gear for our current crew member. You may want to look and see if we can pick up a couple of more people who may want to join the crew, so they can do all.
Connecting to the server, attempting to establish. Did you guys disconnect in any way? Because Foundry just told me I disconnected to the server. So I'm assuming there's
Oh
an issue with
no,
internet.
didn't notice.
No, I refreshed and it seems fine.
I'm still
Mine
here.
looks like
Well, it's very slow.
I'm not able to control space. So that's usually a sign that we are not connected. I'll try to
Right. No,
reload
I'm not. I'm not reconnecting. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
Theater of the mind tonight.
Yep.
I just want to see if my
Actually, it did come back. It's just slow.
okay. So yeah, there's definitely an issue with the internet because it disconnected me to